Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25. Thanks for joining me once again. A very special episode today. We're going to have an early access look at a new mod by Oz called Used Equipment Yards. This is a game changer. This shows you what you can do with this game. I will bet a lot of money, the majority of you will put this into every single one of your saves. If you do any sort of roleplay work and series, this is superb and it is really going to give you some options. A massive shout out to Oz for not only the work that he's doing at the moment and how quick he can sort of turn these mods around and the impact he's having on the community, but from a personal level, a massive thanks for allowing me to be a part of a very, very special group of people who had early access at this and sort of were allowed to play around with it and try and bring out the sort of testing phase. Massive note to Mr. Dex and Mark Thor, because the work that they did on this was incredible to help Oz. I primarily just sort of tried to break things and got in the way and asked stupid questions. But in many ways, quite useful for Oz, because I guess it allows him to see the moronic approach to how we use mods versus people who are actually good at playing this game. Without further ado, let's just get into it. So, into our build mode, go across to our tools, scroll down, and here it is. We've got the for sale and the sell here. So we will go into the for sale. This works primarily in the same sort of way that you set your husbandries out. So you'll get this little box and you see those two little sets of stones. So we'll just chuck one, we'll just chuck it back here. And then we want to say yes to doing it. Starts from the green pole, so that's nice. Why the husbandries don't have that? So I know Scroft always struggles to see which one he's going from initially. And you would basically bring it out to here. We'll then hook across to here, and we'll come back down there and drop it back onto itself. And it automatically hooks up there. See the price isn't changing. And we say that. Thanks very much. Now, what you also want to do is you want to pick up a sell here box. Yeah. So we have the edges. Tricky to see. I've chosen a terrible yard, but they're just for there. So we will chuck the cell here over here at the way. So there, nice, happy days. Right. If I come out of this and I'll drop out the flight mode, I'm going to have to learn the console commands to do this much quicker. When you come over to the little box, you come over here and you can configure your yard. Top left of the screen, I use a controller, so there will be an option there where we can configure yard is R on your keyboard. So here is the main menu for everyone. Top left hand corner, we've got the high field equipment, which is the yard name. This is important. I'll come back to it in a minute. The quality of what you're buying option is here. Controls the hours, damage, and wear of the equipment. Dirtiness that it arrives in, pretty standard. If you want to really filter down, and you want a 6 to 9 meter setup or 3 meter cedars and things like that, this is your option here. Maximum price, no maximum. Average hours in stock, so that your stock will rotate every 96 hours basically before it leaves the yard, and we can amend that as you see fit. Grid spacing, so you can reduce this to make the areas between your kit that's being sold a little smaller or a little wider, depending on what you want to do. It will come preset. As you can see, these are the weighting systems. Obviously, 0 is disabled, so it won't spawn anything with a 0. The higher the number, so we've got 1 on the large tractors, 5 on the mediums, and I think we've got 10 on the small, 2 on the skid steers. So you could see this is pretty self-explanatory. If everything was 1 and you had something that was a 2, that's going to be double the likelihood of getting those things. Over here on the other side, we've got the branding. So if you only want to run certain brands, you can do that, or you can clear your brands and just put a couple in. It's honestly, the options here, I love it. I absolutely love it, because it caters to everything that you want as an individual. And I love that Oz does that with his mods, that he tries to, other than red tape because he's evil, but he will genuinely try and cater for everyone's play style with what his approach to things. Down the bottom, some extra things here. You can clear the weights, we can clear the brandings, and so on and so forth. So we will just apply that. Now, the way it runs at the moment is we bring up our console commands. I had to be taught to do this because I never used them before. Bring this part up. and then we type in new EY, reset inventory, and we shall run that. I will then drop out of this whilst it starts to spawn in, and let's go back into flight mode, and we'll get out the way over here. So my computer isn't the most powerful, so you can see it's a little bit juddery whilst all these things load in. But as you can see, here come our tractors all dropping into the yard that we have set up. Now, if you think about what this is going to look like when it's finally started, like spawned everything in, if you design your own yard, and you have all like the bunting and the buildings, and honestly, just superb. But this is now where it gets really special. So let's drop out of this and let's have a start looking at these tractors. Each one will have a number plate on them with a costing to it. I think in testing there was 2 that we found didn't. I think I had a New Holland that didn't, maybe. And I think the Kubota, and I can't remember if I told Oz, I probably blinking didn't now, did I? That weren't spawning that. But again, this is early stage testing. So you'll get your number plate on there. Each number plate will have the price of the machine. When we get closer to it, down the bottom right, we will see that there's additional information. So you'll have the for sale price, the damage, the wear, and the hours on the machine. Really, really clever stuff. So let's have a look at this JCB, for example. So we're looking at a Fast Track 4160. Prices at the top there, 126,523, 20% of damage, 63% of wear, and 51 hours of use. Now then, you might say, well, it's all very good, but it's just literally a physical version of the shop. The difference is we can get into these tractors. Yeah. Now we can also start the tractor, but what's really clever is you can't nick it. You can't just drive away with the tractor. How cool is that? Honestly, it is so cool. And that's interesting because I've got the other mod there that's running and it's stalled it out, which is interesting. That blurriness is a me issue, so please ignore it. It's not a reflection of Oz's mod. That is my PC is having an absolute moment and a half at the moment. I cannot get it to settle with the drawing in and out. But what you can then do is when you approach it, at the top left, you can see that it's changing. So we got the configure yard option, but when we close it on the machine, we've got the part for the JCB Fast Track. So you enter into this kind of conversational window. At the top there, vehicle information. We've got the JCB brand, 51 hours, 62% use, 3 owners, and 20% worth of damage. Specifications on it. Now, I don't know why the hours are there as 0 when we know that there's 51 hours. So that might be something that we'll need to have a chat with Oz about. Or it might just be my understanding of it. We can then barter, and you've got a set number of basically attempts that you can try and buy this vehicle for. So we can either make an offer, we can just buy it now, or we can test drive it. So let's take it for a test drive. And there we go. Just take the JCB Fast Track, 2-hour test drive, return by 11, or you incur hourly fines. I mean, how clever is that? So we'll have it. We'll jump back in it. We will start her up. I will get the cold engine warning on this because the mod we're running. However, I'll jump out of this so we stop having that horrific blur in the cab. We can now drive her away. It's just superb, isn't it? So you've got that 2-hour, it rounds up. So it basically will go from 9 till 11, and we've got the extra few 47 minutes of time that we could take it. So, yeah, we know it's cold. Sorry, my bad. Once you've then finished having a little test drive, enter back into the chat, and we return the vehicle. Yes, thanks very much. It was great. Really liked it. Ah, it's left the engine running. So that's something that Oz can pick up on and could address that when it drops back in, it should always turn the engine off. And there it is. So it's back again. And I tell you what, we'll just do, just for the sake of it, we'll start the engine up. We'll try and drive it again. It ain't going anywhere. Just superb. Absolutely superb. So let's now say that we want to buy it. So let's make an offer. No, actually, let's just buy it outright. So we will buy it. Thank you very much. This is now our vehicle. £126,000 has been taken from our bank account. This is now ours to do with as we see fit. So this little box over here is our sell point. So we'll knock our engine off and then we reapproach the vehicle as you would normally, and then we can sell the vehicle. And we will say, yes, please pick this one. Thank you very much. Cash offer, 138. Is he just offering us more than we just bought it for? Or am I at a moment? I thought it was 126 a minute ago. That's interesting. However, look at this, right? So you can have a mixed offer, a credit offer, or a cash offer. So our cash is 138. Our credit offer is 147, or our mixed is 109 plus £32,000. I just honestly, it's so clever. So you'll get more for the credit. So we'll accept credit at this store. Thank you very much. So that then returns back over here. Let's have a look what it's listed for. It's now up for 150. That we may need to have a little word with Oz about this because the pricing seems to be a little bit gone wrong. So let's go and have a look at the class. This is £99,000. If we go on to that, here you will see yard credit, £147,990 of credit. So if we were to buy this now, thanking you very much. Nothing has come out of our bank account. If we then move over to this one, our credit is now down to 48,614. Unbelievably good mod. Just unbelievably good mod. Now, what we can also do, and let's just chuck one in by here, is we can go into the shop and we will say, let's buy a trailer, right? So let's buy the bun in by here. Thanking you. Cool. Now, let's check our super strength on and drop it into the sell zone. If I've set this up right, I probably haven't knowing me, but if I've set this up right, we can go into this and we will try and sell our vehicle. And we will say, select that. We're not interested in buying this, but I think Mids' trailers would be. And do you remember earlier on I said around the naming is important? We'll come back to it. So I'm going to take you on a little flight. Let's jump back into this, get into flight mode. Thanks very much. And we can come over this way. Apologies that this is going to be a bit jumpy. And where is the shop, please? Hang on a minute. There it is. I can see it on my map. If we come over here to, here's one I made earlier moments. And we will just drop that in there. Cheers, big ears. Jump out of flight mode for a sec. So here we have two new shops that I set up earlier. We've got basically Mids' Motors over here. And then actually, let me just check. If I approach this, we've got no yard credit here. So the yard credit is relevant to the store, so that's important. But we've also then got a trailer store over here. And the way I've done that is just simply using the filters we had earlier with the weight options. And the one I set over by the farm was only selling machinery, if you remember. The default is just those machines. It won't sell anything else. That one will only sell machines. It's basically default as I set up. This one, I changed the weighting system so it would only sell trailers and attachments. So now we can come over to here. We'll approach our trailer. Press this. Yes. And then we've got our cash offer there. Our credit offer or our mixed offer. And then we'll take cash on this time. Thanks very much. Interestingly enough, does it actually then go and put it in the shop? No, because there's no space for it because we haven't bought it. If we bought one of these and then sold it back, it would just put it basically back in the slot that it came from. This mod is just, it's blown my mind. It really has. And I honestly, I think Oz deserves so much gratitude and love from us players for the effort that he's gone to and the way that he's designed this. It's so clever. So clever. Couple of little pointers. If we hop in this, you'll see on the bottom right hand side, the fuel gauge is really low. So that's a really clever thing that Mark and Mr. Dex were talking about, where, you know, when you're selling, if you're selling a car or you've got a lease car, and you will give it back when you with as little fuel in it as possible, which is quite entertaining. So yeah, so that was brought in. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I've missed. Oh, that was the other thing as well. Whilst I think about it, so you can place this anywhere. So, for example, this is really good. Riverbend is a really good example of it because these areas here are restricted and we can't place anything normally in them. So, for example, if I were to try and place this shed, the land's not owned by me, I can't do anything. However, if I go into tools, and where are we? Used equipment yard, and I just say, right, let's chuck it by here. Yes, I do. Thanks very much. We'll put it by there, by there, by there, and back across there. Thanking you. And we will jump over now to the shop. Visit here. And if I do console commands and press up and run it again, that will now refresh all the shops. So it'll refresh all of them, be warned, not just the one that we're looking at the moment. And there we go. You can now place it on restricted land. And that's just such a clever thing to do, because there are some maps that scream out for these things. So my roleplay series in Saxlingham, the actual shop, turning that into a used car lot outside, it honestly, it's game changing. It is absolutely game changing, and you can edit this to your heart's content, can you? You can do it so it only has certain things, harvesters, header trailers, whatever. There is so much scope for playing around with this. Yeah, I honestly, I I love it. I genuinely think that this is one of the best mods that's come out on 25. It may be the best mod that's come out on 25. I mean, it all depends on how you play the game, I guess. But for me, this is next level. So Oz, thank you for your efforts. Thank you for your brain and the way that it works. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of the group that got to have a little look at this early doors. Just incredible, incredible work. I hope I haven't missed anything out and I've covered everything that you would want covered in this. Please, guys, go and give Oz some love when you're downloading this. Give it a 5-star review. Remember, when it drops, it will still be technically in like a beta phase, so there will be things that we'll stumble across like we just did literally in this video, yeah? So be kind, send it back to Oz, let him know, he will address it or explain it. Don't be horrible when you're leaving feedback and comments, and try and have a little moment and think about what you're saying, because some of the comments on his other mods are just absurd, and some are just needless. And I promise you now, if you aren't going to be kind and you're not going to be nice about it, then you will be promptly ignored, and rightly so. So let's show these modders some love and some respect, because they do it because they love the game like us, and they do it for the love of the game. So there we are. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments. I assure you Oz will be reading it and he will address it. But thank you very much for watching. As always, be happy, stay safe, and we will speak again soon. Take care.